This is the first homework assignment I've done since my break from school. And I started out my paper like this. In my backyard, I've got trees for days. I'm a friggin' genius. What is up today, guys? Holy cannoli, it's been a while, but let's friggin' do this. In month 18, I had 2 classes. I had visual development and history of visual communications. So these are the 2 classes we'll be talking about this month. This video solely will be history of visual communications. So, this is my Full Sail experience, month 18, in history of visual communications from Full Sail University's Computer Animation degree program. Let's get into this. So we're gonna start off by talking about just some class information, then we're gonna move into some assignments, then we're gonna talk about the teacher a little bit, some tips, and then in short, and then we'll get out of here and we'll move on to the next one. So just some basic class information. What can I tell you about history of visual communications? I'm looking at it on my computer right here. What can I tell you about this class? Well, I can tell you there are 9 assignments, 2 assignments per week, and you know, your professionalism. And it's not your standard history class. Like, going in, I thought this would be like, let's read from this chapter, let's write an essay and stuff like that. No, this class is way more fun than I thought it would be. There are 9 assignments, like I said. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the lectures were Wednesday night and then they were uploaded Thursday. I think that's how it was. I always watched the recording because never had time to watch the live lecture. And there's construction going on upstairs, so bear with me. He gets to be here from 9 to 5 and it's 10:57. We got a long day. Construction aside, let's go and start talking about this month. Let's see what it really was, because in terms of class information, that's pretty much it. It was fun. There are 9 assignments. It's not your real read it and write it history kind of class. It's more of a learn something and then make something. A few somethings. It was fun. This is what's causing all the rattling. Friggin' menace. But anyway, let's ignore the construction and let's get into the assignments now. So each week has a different theme. Friggin' awesome. Week 1 is all about nature, concepts of nature and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about the discussion first and then we'll talk about the project, because you had a discussion and a project for each week. Merch, maybe. Click the card wherever, because I made merch last night. Ba-boom. This cup is not on the store. This was specially made for me. But a whole bunch of other stuff is on the store. Week 1 discussion, wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is finding beauty in things that aren't typically beautiful or interesting or something along that line. What I did was I just kind of walked outside because I was like, wabi-sabi, what the heck? So I walked outside and then I found this little pile of broken bricks and stuff, and I was like, you know what, this is cool, let's get real close to it. So then I got this picture, and then all I did was I hopped on there and I was like, this picture's friggin' awesome. It's so colorful. I just described how I saw beauty in it, and that's pretty much all the assignment is. It's pretty easy. It's pretty simple too, and it's in a way kind of relaxing, because I guess I could see where some people could get stressed about this, like, oh goodness, how do I find beauty in something that's not beautiful? But it's all your opinion, you know? There's no right or wrong. Like, if I uploaded the picture of bricks and she's like, no, that's not beautiful, this is not right. No, she's not like that. I'll talk about the teacher here in a second. I only have positive things to say. But the wabi-sabi discussion, it's really kind of relaxing, kind of chill, and I enjoyed it. And like I said, there's my picture. Now, the project for week 1, nature, your project had to relate to one of these 3, what's the word I'm even looking for? Concepts, movements, something like that. You have Daoism, Buddhism, and Transcendentalism. I chose Daoism because that's like a balance. It's like a yin and yang kind of thing. It's all about balance, and then this week is all about nature and stuff like that. Before I thought of my final project that I turned in for this week, I was like, oh heck yeah, nature. I'm doing a Bob Ross digital painting. And then I did this because I was like, Indiana is crazy in terms of its weather. It's hot and then it's cold and then it's hot, and then I started thinking about that Katy Perry song, and then I was like, this isn't going the way I thought I wanted it to. So I scrapped that idea. I just went outside and I looked at trees, because Bob Ross likes happy trees. Happy trees are fun, right? We all love happy trees. So what I did was I took a few pictures of trees that I just found in my yard, and I was like, you know what, let's try to make a picture that represents Indiana weather. And I know weather's a big topic right now with the hurricane going on in Florida. I really hope anyone that's friggin' construction, really hope that anyone that is being affected is actually taking it serious and stuff like that, because it's category 2 right now, I think. So don't be stupid, take shelter, evacuate if they tell you to evacuate and all that junk. You've heard it before. I wanted something that represented Indiana weather, right? What I did was, I was like, let's make a dynamic, kind of put you in the scene tree, kind of angles up so you feel like you're looking up at it, and it's white, and it's got like a happy little face on it. And then the tree right next to it is black with white detail, whereas the first one is white with black detail. Kind of contrast, you know, that yin-yang Daoism thing. And then it's all like branching off, it's all unpredictable. Like the weather, you know, it's nature. It's unpredictable, so you don't know where the branches are going or where they lead, where they stop, where they end, where they begin, where they stop, and where they end. That's the same thing. That was my idea with that. And then in the background, I just put the leaf texture brush from Photoshop. I just made some layers. That's this piece. I called it Happy Tree. And then of course with each piece you have to make an artist statement. It's really easy. Just explain your process, your inspiration, the idea behind the piece. It's all really easy. Just don't sweat it. It takes like 30-45 minutes. So that was pretty much week 1. Week 1 took me how long? Because I keep a punch list and stuff like that. Week 1 took me 465 minutes, which translates to about 7 hours and 45 minutes. Oh, and the lecture for week 1 was about 65 minutes long, so don't sweat it. Let's move on to week 2. Week 2, just the title and theme of week 2 is fun because the theme is imagination. You can do a whole lot with imagination. So let's start with the discussion. I swear he's right above me, hammering the ground because he knows I'm recording. Now, how do you pronounce this? Pareidolia? Pareidolia? I think that's it. If it's not, let me know, comments below. Basically what that is where I did the scribble squid. You scribble, and then you just kind of turn your scribble into a picture. Friggin' easy. Easy as heck. How long did I even spend on that? I probably spent longer than I needed to because I actually made a video out of it. I spent 111 minutes, not even 2 hours. And it would have been a whole lot less if I didn't change my idea halfway through and stuff like that, because I did that to just about every project. That's pretty much it for the discussion for week 2. Let's talk about the actual project for week 2, playing cards. Now, you can choose, what was it, traditional or what were your options? I forget what your second option was called, but it was either traditional type of deck where, you know, it's the face cards all have faces and characters or whatever, and then your number cards all have just either numbers or symbols or something related to that number. That's traditional, and there's a second one. I forget what that one was called, but I obviously went with traditional because that's the one I can remember. Now, for the traditional deck, what I did was, you remember that superhero I designed early August or something like that I'm currently working on modeling? What I did for him was I kind of put him in the style of a traditional, like, king, you know, where one head's going this way, then it's kind of flipped, and the other head's going this way. That's what I did. So that's my king card. And then for my 7 card, because you have to do a face, a 7 card, and then the back of your card. And I made my theme Tetrad art because I'm a little obnoxious. But for the 7, I created a block and then just divided it into 7 blocks. Because my logo is kind of blocky, and it just kind of works. And then the back of the card is just my logo. This class seemed like it was going to be boring and not fun, but it really is. There's so much creative freedom in each assignment that it's nuts. I did not expect this much limitlessness. That's a new word. Limitlessness. Is it a new word? It might be a real word. Regardless, I did not expect to have this much fun in this class. Oh, also, about the lectures, after week 1, after you get through all the, like, let's talk about the class and stuff like that, weeks 2, 3, and 4, you have about 30 minutes of lecture at the beginning, and then the last hour or so is about pretty much just a critique of the work from the week before. So you not only get to see your work, you get to see everyone else's work, and you get to kind of hear feedback from not only the professor, but from other students, and see what could maybe be done to improve your design or something like that. It is in no way an intimidating situation. It's very chill. It's very nice, and honestly, getting into the professor talk a little bit, she looks for so many good things in everyone's work. I don't think I heard her say anything bad about anyone's work. She's just so, like, positive and upbeat, and she really motivates you to do better. So, like I said before, I only have positives. I don't know what all I'm going to say about in the teacher section of this. I might just be rehashing what I've said now, but we'll find out later. Okay, so yeah, week 2, 461 minutes, 7 hours, 41 minutes, in the hours, minutes translation. Let's move on to week 3. The week 3 theme, that was kind of hard to say, was propaganda. And when I saw that, I was like, oh goodness, I don't like doing controversial topics. I like having fun. I like creating. I don't want to do anything revolving anything political, highly debatable topics. I don't want to do that. That sounds way far out of my comfort zone. I like Disney, I like superheroes, nothing about that is controversial. So obviously I don't want to do anything political. I don't want to do anything that's going to step on anyone's toes. Not because I'm afraid to step on people's toes, it's just because I don't like confrontation. I don't want to deal with any of that. I don't like, there's just a bunch of topics that she showed off that maybe we could work with this. She gets a lot of these that I was like, I don't want to deal with negativity. I don't want to deal with those kind of topics. I don't want something that's divisive. I was scared for week 3. I really was. It's propaganda. So let's talk about your discussion and then we'll talk more about the project for week 3. Discussion is actually more of what I expected this class to be like before I even got into this class. It's called Works Progress Administration. So you're going through old propaganda and finding something that kind of speaks to you, and then you just write about it. Like, what can you find about it, what works, and stuff like that. I chose one that has a very long title. It's called A Good Lunch - One Hot Dish, Meat, Vegetables - Sandwich - Fruit - Milk, WPA School Lunch. That is the title of this piece of propaganda I found, and it's literally every single word that's on this poster. Then I basically just described how, you know, eating right is important. I feel that it's very important because in my family we didn't always eat right and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what I wrote about in this piece, how it has a connection to me and stuff like that. That's pretty much what I expected this class to be when going into it, because in this discussion you didn't create anything. You found something online and you wrote about it. That's what I expected. Now for the project of propaganda called Making a Difference, pretty much choose any topic, can have a piece of propaganda related to it. You can't promote a company or a brand or yourself or anything like that. It has to be somewhat of a topic that you want a call to action. You want pretty much that. You want the viewer of your piece of propaganda to have an emotional response. You don't want them to be like, oh, I'll go buy a Coke today. You want them to take action to make a difference. I mean, that's what the project's called, making a difference. So there are, of course, examples that she showed us of like sexual assault, global warming, stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know if I can make something revolving around one of those types of topics and have it be fun, have it be at least somewhat colorful, and pow, here we go, boom, color. Here we go, boom, color. Put that on a t-shirt. But anyway, I don't think I could do something fun. You know, I like superheroes and Disney and stuff. I was like, this seems like a very challenging week for me. So what I did was, I talked it over with my fiance. I was like, Bailey, what the heck is a topic that I can create propaganda about, but still have it be somewhat fun? Early 2018, oh, I don't have the picture in here. Early 2018, I took some really old food character drawings that I made back in 3rd grade, and then I redrew them. So Bailey's like, do something with your food characters. So I was like, I'm gonna do something with my food characters. Initially, I drew 3 healthy food characters on the left side, 3 bad, nasty food characters on the right side. They were junk food, and then they were gonna fight, and then I'd have a piece of text, some words down at the bottom being like, choose your side or something like that. It's like propaganda, eat healthy, which side do you fall on, and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, this is kind of more me. And then I was quickly running out of time because, you know, there's a 2nd class this month. So what I did was I narrowed it down to the 2 characters. Quick, think of something healthy. Apple, that's what most people would think. Quick, think of junk food. Pizza, that's what most people would think. So I quickly chose those 2 characters. I had my apple guy and my pizza monster, and they were staring up at each other. Of course, the pizza monster's towering. He's a big menace, and he's got bones sticking out of him. He's got a skull at the top of his crust. And then, of course, the apple guy, he's fit, he's strong, he might be small, but he packs a punch and stuff like that. And I think it's just a really good superhero representation of eating right. And then I put in the little, like, you are what you eat, because everyone knows that phrase. And then at the bottom I put, what are you? Because if you are what you eat, what are you? I guess I'm coffee, and that's probably more on the junk food side, but you know, it is what it is. But I do have my alter ego, water, so I'm water v coffee. There's a cap on this, I can't drink it. Once I talked it over with Bailey, and and we found out what I was gonna do, I had a really friggin' awesome idea, and then I'm really happy with this result. So week 3 took me 533 minutes. I predicted 495, and the 533 translates to 8 hours, 53 minutes. It would have been probably somewhere around 450 or so minutes if I hadn't started with the 6 characters, and I would have just started with the 2. Probably. Dude, please. I swear, he's hammering the ground just to bug me. Okay, so we're gonna move on to week 4, and week 4 is music. And I was like, I'm in computer animation, taking a history of visual communications. What is so visual about music? Well, let me tell you. Bum, 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 bum. We're gonna start off with the discussion, and then we'll move on to the project, as we've been doing. Okay, so the discussion of the music theme in week 4 is abstract music visualization. Now, what the heck is that? Basically, you pick a song, and what I did was I picked Masterpiece by Andy Grammer, and I just played it on loop while I made this. And what you want to do is you want to create a picture that represents that song without really drawing something specific. Make it abstract. You choose the song Buy Me a Boat. Yeah, don't draw a boat. Draw something that represents a boat, but is like abstract. Maybe an abstract boat of sorts. But you don't want to draw a boat. So the song Masterpiece by Andy Grammer, I feel like that set me up well because it doesn't really describe the masterpiece. It describes the process of making the masterpiece. It describes all of the colors and it lightning through your veins and the colors and the air and stuff like that. So it's nothing too specific, which is kind of why I chose that song, and I really like it anyway. So this is what I created. It's like a blast of color explosion with like electric lines of lightning running down the middle because I feel the electricity in my veins when I hear this song, and it just wants me, it just makes me want to create something. So all those colors leading down to the middle, all the lightning leading down to the middle, it's all leading me to my masterpiece. Well, that's pretty much it for that, because I didn't know what to do for this one because I got really stuck. I again spent longer on it than it looks like I did. I spent 89 minutes on this, though it looks like I could have done it in about 15 minutes. And honestly, I did this in about 15 minutes, but a lot of it was, let's think about what I want to do. If you look real close, I've got little trails of white dots, and those are like the stars, because the sky is not the limit in art. The stars are not even the limit in art. Art is limitless. Creativity is limitless. This electricity, this color explosion will lead you to your masterpiece. And your masterpiece can be further than the stars. It can be in the heavens. It can be great. It just really pumps me up to talk about like creativity and art and imagination, and it's just amazing. So that's what I see in this piece. It might look like just some lowered opacity colored lines to you, but to me it represents limitless creative possibilities, and that's what I see in it. So sorry to get so emotional on you there, but that's what I see in this piece. And that's why I think it represents the song Masterpiece very well. It's so cool. I love it. Oh, and I will say, in all of these discussions, of course, you can see what everyone else is doing. So you make your post, you reply to a post, and you can kind of get a feel for what everyone's doing. Now, for week 4, the actual project is an album cover redesign. Whoa. Tip right away. Pick an album you know. You're going to save yourself some time. Now, you don't have to choose from a list of albums that they give you. No, you can choose any album. Just redesign it so that it's very different from the original. And if they have a logo, you cannot use that logo. You can create your own logo. So if you want to use a Katy Perry album. So if you want to redesign Prism, you can do it. But don't use the logo. Don't use a Katy Perry logo. If you want to create your own Katy Perry logo, you can, but you can't use theirs. You can make your own. So what I did was, like week 3 turns out great for me, and that's one of my favorite projects I made. So I was like, Bailey, you got an idea for what I can redesign? She said that I need to redesign Night Visions by Imagine Dragons. So I know like Radioactive and 1 or 2 other songs on there, but I don't know the whole album. So I was like, let me just play the album on loop and I'll kind of just break out the tablet and see what I can come up with. So I was like, Night Visions, Imagine Dragons, let's draw a dragon at night and then give it like a night vision filter. I only got this far in it and I stopped because I wasn't feeling it. This isn't me, and I don't know the album as well as I needed to in order to make something worth making. So I stopped here. Let me know if you want me to finish this dragon. It's like maybe we can create our own dragon. Different video. Let me know. I picked an album that I know, and I know Thomas Rhett very well. So I chose the Tangled Up album by Thomas Rhett. I know that album pretty dang well, and I know that a lot of his songs, especially Die a Happy Man, it's all about love, and I know that he's got a song called Tangled. He's like, tangled up in your love, you know, something like that. And then he's got Playing with Fire, which is like a relationship song. I know that he has a ton of relationship songs. He's got T-Shirt, he's got, well, I mean, Vacation really isn't a relationship song. It's just more like a we're on vacation party song, stuff like that. I'd say the majority of the album is about relationships. So, and the title of the album is Tangled Up. So what I did was I created a heart tangled up in some string, and then on the heart are patches of little like icons to represent songs. So like for Vacation, I put a sun. For T-Shirt, I put a T-shirt, whoa. For Playing with Fire, I put a little fire. For Die Happy Man, I put a tombstone with a little smiley face. For Learned It from the Radio, I put a little musical note. So I feel like that's a pretty cool album redesign. And then I have like the white triangle on him, almost like a spotlight, because he's willing to sing about all of these marks that are left on his heart and stuff like that, and that's what the patches kind of represent. And then of course I've got the Tangled Up Thomas right down there in the corner, and I didn't want that to like pop, but I still wanted you to be able to read it. So I want your focus on the heart and the tangled and then the patches and stuff like that. That's why all that is in the white background, and then his name and title of the album is gray on the darker background. So I wanted the drawing to pop, but I still wanted the words to be visible, but I don't want them to take away from the drawing itself. And pretty much everything I just said right there was in my artist statement. Look at that. And if you're wondering about any grades on any of these assignments that I got 100s on everything. So I'm not trying to brag or flex or anything. I'm just letting you know that this is the kind of work that they're looking for, honestly. And again, I'm not trying to be like, I'm great, look at me. I'm trying to say, this is what they're looking for. They're not looking for something mind-bendingly realistic or anything like that. I draw in a very cartoony style, and if you draw realistic, great, they're gonna love it. But they're not looking for something amazing. They're looking for good concepts. They're looking for thought-provoking. They want you to have put in time thinking about what you're doing. Is what you're making trying to convey a certain message? Are you coming up with a good concept? Stuff like that. It's all about visual communications. That's the history of visual communications right here. So in each lecture you do get a bit of a history lesson and like, where did this start? Who are some great people that have done this? But for the most part, your lectures are 30 minutes long, and then an hour after that is critique from the week before. So it's just a very fun and creative class. So moving on from the assignments, let's talk about the teacher a little bit. I know I said some things about her during the assignments portion, but let's talk just about her a little bit. For one, she's friggin' awesome. Let's get that straight. Two, she never said anything bad about anyone's work that I saw. She's very positive, and even during the critique, if something isn't working great, she will still only point out the things that do work, the things that you were able to accomplish well, and stuff like that. And she's so much fun. She laughs during lecture. Like, how is that not contagious to some people? I don't know. I laughed when she laughed. Friggin' awesome. You're really gonna enjoy her. I'm not gonna give you her last name, but I'll at least tell you her first name just in case. So if you get Kimberly, you're gonna have a friggin' awesome time. I don't know if there are any more instructors, but she's a really good one. You're in good hands. I can talk about a few tips, but then we'll be done. So tips: check off your professionalism as soon as you can. Get it out of the way, don't forget about it. Nature, go out into nature for week 1. That is honestly where you're gonna get your best result. Imagination, shoot, well, what was my week 2 assignment even? For imagination for week 2, I say go friggin' nuts. For that scribble challenge, you make the best scribble any scribble has ever seen. Put my scribble squid to shame. Do it. Make the most epic scribble you can. And for your playing cards, just find a good theme and have fun. Propaganda, if you're not someone that likes to get super political or talk about sexual assault or global warming or anything like that, find a fun one, like healthy eating. No one's gonna say, you don't need to eat healthy, eat junk food. Like, no, that's not super divisive or anything like that. Sure, people do like junk food. I like junk food an awful lot. But it's not super divisive, so not everything you do has to be super divisive. And then for music, best tip, pick an album you know. Otherwise, you're gonna draw something like this, when you could draw something like this. And also, I did everything digital. You can do traditional or digital or a combination. It doesn't matter. Just if you do traditional, obviously take a good picture and submit it. Friggin' construction. Okay, so in short, 9 assignments, 1 discussion per week, 1 project per week, and then professionalism. Week 1 is all about nature. Week 2 is all about imagination. Week 3 is propaganda. And week 4 is music. You're gonna have a fun time in this class. There's no doubt about that. If you love creativity and if you love art, if you love anything like that, you're gonna love this class. And if not, why are you at Full Sail? I don't know how many degree programs this class is open to. I can imagine it's probably computer animation like me, probably graphic design, probably game art, probably, I don't know what other degrees there are, honestly. I know that there's an awful lot more, but I don't know if this is open to like music people. I don't know. I mean, it has a music week, so maybe, but I wouldn't imagine this is probably open to the music degree people. Again, just a super fun class. So my question for you guys this month: is there construction near you? There's some right near me. Now, my question for you guys this month: what has been your most enjoyable class thus far in your Full Sail career? Honestly, this is one of my most enjoyable ones. It's not one that I thought I would enjoy most, like character modeling or animation, because those were some of my top ones that I was really looking to get into. But this has just been a fantastic class, and I have nothing bad to say about this class. Let me real quick tell you, week 4 I spent 368 minutes, which translates to 6 hours 8 minutes, making my total work time for the month 30 hours and 27 minutes. So expect about 6 to 9 hours per week for this class. But yeah, that's my question. What has been your most enjoyable class thus far in your Full Sail career? This is definitely in my like top 3. So yeah, awesome sauceum. I just created a merch store last night. Check out the merch in the card above. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. So like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys later.